Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my December 2024 book haul. My final book haul of the year, and maybe my most productive one, or my most productive in a while anyway, because all of the books, or the vast majority of the books I'll be talking about, are purchases justified. These are all books I asked my family to give me over the holidays because they are part of my top of the GoodReads goal for next year. I have a resolution. I'll link to my whole bookish resolutions post down below, but my first resolution is always to sort of shave the top off of my Goodreads TBR with the books that have been on there the longest. So I went ahead and asked, for some used books, from Aid Books of some of those titles, and my family was very gracious to get them for me. So I thought I'd just go in what I think will be the chronological order of reading them, because I also do a lot of pre-planning of my reading. It's kind of crazy, but anyway, I'll start with the book I intend to read first and the year, and then going to the final one. So anyway, the first book I have to talk about is Bury What We Cannot Take by Kristen Chen. This is a novel about a Chinese family. I believe they are sort of forced to leave China after their grandmother, or the protagonist's grandmother, displays some criticism toward Chairman Mao. So it'll be some interesting political commentary in here. Then on Blackberry Hill by Rachel Mann. This is a YA novel. It is Jewish fiction, small press fiction, and I think I heard about it now years ago, probably on a podcast. I think it won one of the, or at least one of the Jewish writing awards. So I believe this is particularly centered around a summer camp situation and its aftermath. We shall see. Then we have City of Grit and Gold by Maud McCrory Powell. This is another small press offering, and it is historical fiction taking place in Chicago in the late 1800s, about clashes, working class clashes, and a young protagonist, maybe a little bit of an American Girls feel to this one. I don't know if it'll be quite as earnest or not, but that is the setup of this small little novel talking about these issues. The Diplomat's Daughter by Karen Tanabe. It's a bit of a chunkier book, still historical fiction, this time World War II based. It follows the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and we have the daughter of a Japanese diplomat who is imprisoned in a Texas internment camp, and she meets a young boy whose German-born parents are also wrongfully arrested for un-American activities. Seems like it's going to be a little bit of a love match, and it's about the realities that people were facing in the U.S. who were, branded as, sort of enemies. Cowboys and East Indians by Nina McConley is a short story collection. I think I've had it on my one of my TBR games for a while, so I'm excited that I'll finally get the chance to read it, and I have a copy in hand. This is a cover, actually, I think I don't see quite as much. But at the top you can see it won a Penn Literary Award, so that's pretty exciting, and I believe the thematic drift between all of these stories is it's about Southeast Asians, particularly immigrants, living in the American West. For another short story collection, we have Hardly Children by Laura Adamczyk. This is, I believe, non-Jewish fiction. I probably then heard about through Book Riot. The back says that the characters are keyed up, on the verge, and full of desire. They're lost and in love with someone they shouldn't be. They're denying uncomfortable truths, using sex or humor. They're children waking up to threats of adulthood, and adults living with childlike abandon. Yeah, hopefully there's some good stuff in here. Next, I have a small little novel called The Archive of Alternate Endings by Lindsay Drager, which is sort of experimental type of novel. It's tracking the evolution of Hansel and Gretel at 75-year intervals. So I wonder if this is a little bit of a novel in short stories because, it's more thematically linked than narratively linked by characters who subsist throughout. I wonder, I'm a little nervous. This might be the sort of thing that, back 5 years ago, I was like, this sounded cool, and I might not be quite as into this style today, but I should go in with an open mind. And then I'll hold up 2 Michael Cunningham novels that I got, At Home at the End of the World and Specimen Days. These 2, plus one other novel I don't have, I believe are my final novels by Michael Cunningham I have left to read. I've been doing author backlist reading videos in the past, I'll link to down below, and reading his other novels as well. And so I'm excited to get back to an author backlist reading project with him, probably around this time next year. I'm excited and a little bit apprehensive because actually Cunningham is a little hit or miss with me. I definitely like some of his novels more than I like others, so I'll just hold out hope for these 2. And finally, this one is a little bit of a dud, although maybe it's good for me to have more spontaneity in my life. This is The Most Dangerous Thing by Laura Lippman. This is actually not a book that I specifically asked for, but it is a book with the same title and a similar author name to the one I was hoping for, but whoops, I put the wrong one on my list. So anyway, I guess this means I have a spontaneous book, maybe something to give a try that I didn't mean to. It's also in more of the mystery, suspense, thriller genre, which I usually stay away from, and maybe I shouldn't all the time. It even takes place in Baltimore, which is where I was born and I grew up in the county, so even more things to perhaps recommend this book to me. So I'll be putting it on my physical unread shelves, and maybe it'll come up in my page 112 tag, and I'll have to give it a go. And finally, for the cream of the crop of my book haul, I have 2 books that were written by my niece and nephew. This is Run for Your Lives by my nephew. It's also volume 2 because my parents have volume 1. I think you can see the theme that will be going through this book. And then my mother and my niece wrote this together. Pizza made with unicorns and gremlins. Got to appreciate this cover design as well. This is a little bit of a more complicated story, I believe. I haven't read through all of it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It's also color-coded. And that about covers it for me now. I will leave GoodReads links for all of the books that have GoodReads links listed down below. And I hope to be back on this channel imminently with my final Would You Read It Challenge video of the year, where I will be looking at actually the final Octafinals BookTube fiction ballot of 2021. So stay tuned for that. I hope you are all enjoying the books you've accumulated over the holidays. If you've been fortunate enough to gather them, I'd love to hear what they are, or if you have any thoughts about these books. And in the meantime, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.